The forest was burning before cameras arrived. Smoke swallowed skies across distant cities. The world gasped at viral images, but the flames told deeper stories. Stories older than breaking news headlines. The Amazon is not untouched wilderness. It is contested, cultivated, complicated land. Amazon rainforest stretches across 9 nations. Most of it lies within Brazil. Fire season there is rarely accidental. Many blazes are deliberately set. Farmers call it clearing the land. Ranchers call it expanding opportunity. Loggers call it accessing resources. Politicians call it economic development. Environmentalists call it ecological tragedy. Indigenous communities call it invasion. Each name reveals competing priorities. Fire becomes a political language. It redraws borders without maps. It turns forest into pasture. It transforms biodiversity into beef exports. Cattle ranching drives massive deforestation. Soy cultivation follows behind bulldozers. Global demand quietly fuels destruction. Supermarkets far away share responsibility. Cheap meat hides costly consequences. Timber markets reward illegal logging. Weak enforcement encourages bold violations. Corruption shields powerful land grabbers. Indigenous guardians face intimidation and violence. Some leaders weaken environmental protections. Regulations become obstacles to profit. Fines shrink while chainsaws multiply. Satellite data reveals rising hotspots. Dry seasons make flames spread faster. Climate change intensifies dangerous droughts. Drought turns forest into tinder. Once ignited, peat soils smolder. Smoke travels thousands of kilometers. Cities darken under afternoon ash. Wildlife flees collapsing habitats. Species vanish before scientists document them. The rainforest absorbs vast carbon emissions. Burning it releases centuries of stored carbon. But here's what most miss. These fires follow a pattern built over decades. Roads opened the forest first. Highways invited settlers inward. One project changed everything permanently. Trans-Amazonian Highway carved through wilderness. Access meant opportunity for many. Opportunity meant pressure on land. Forest standing looked economically empty. Burning proved land was claimed. Fire became a signal of control. Straight lines appeared in satellites. Nature rarely draws straight lines. Humans do that deliberately. Ranchers expanded cattle pastures rapidly. Beef demand kept increasing globally. Soy farms followed cleared zones. Supply chains stretched across continents. Supermarkets rarely showed forest origins. Consumers stayed disconnected from consequences. Policies sometimes favored rapid expansion. Enforcement agencies faced shrinking budgets. Inspectors covered enormous remote territories. Illegal logging networks exploited gaps. Indigenous communities resisted encroachment bravely. Many faced threats and intimidation. Some conflicts turned tragically violent. Media attention rose dramatically. Then attention faded just as quickly. Yet fire season kept returning. Drought conditions made flames worse. Climate shifts intensified dry cycles. National Institute for Space Research reported rising hotspots. Data sparked heated political debates. Some leaders challenged scientific findings. Scientists defended evidence publicly. International pressure increased steadily. Trade partners demanded accountability measures. Hashtags amplified global concern. Donations surged during viral moments. But structural incentives stayed intact. Profits still outweighed penalties. The system rewarded deforestation indirectly. And that is the hidden driver. The Amazon is more than trees. It is a living climate engine. Rivers fly invisibly through skies. Scientists call them flying rivers. Moisture travels across South America. Rain feeds distant farms and cities. Destroy forests, disrupt rainfall patterns, drought spreads beyond forest borders. Agriculture then suffers, ironically. The system depends on itself. World Wildlife Fund warns about tipping points. A tipping point changes everything permanently. Forest could transform into savanna. Recovery would become nearly impossible. Carbon sinks could become carbon sources. Global temperatures would climb faster. Intergovernmental Panel on Climate Change highlights this danger repeatedly. Yet economic incentives remain powerful. Land speculation fuels intentional burning. Clear forest, sell property later. Profit often outweighs environmental risk. International corporations monitor public opinion. Some pledge zero deforestation supply chains, others quietly shift sourcing regions. Certification systems attempt accountability. Enforcement gaps undermine their promises. Meanwhile, indigenous stewardship proves effective. Protected territories show lower deforestation. Traditional knowledge preserves biodiversity brilliantly. Communities manage resources sustainably, but legal recognition remains fragile. Political shifts can reverse protections. Elections reshape environmental priorities quickly. Jair Bolsonaro weakened enforcement policies. Luiz Inácio Lula da Silva promised restoration efforts. Policy swings create uncertain futures. Investors respond to regulatory signals. Markets adjust with political wins. Forest guardians face constant unpredictability. Meanwhile, climate change accelerates threats. Hotter temperatures dry forest floors. Lightning strikes ignite vulnerable areas. Accidental fires now spread easier. Human intention meets climatic vulnerability. The combination becomes dangerously explosive. So, what is the real story? It is not sudden catastrophe. It is calculated, cumulative pressure. Fire is merely the symptom, the disease is systemic demand. Global appetites shape distant landscapes. Investment flows influence forest fate. Policy choices ripple worldwide. Responsibility extends beyond borders. The Amazon rainforest mirrors global priorities. Protecting it requires coordinated action. Governments must enforce strict regulations. Corporations must ensure transparent supply chains. Banks must reconsider risky financing. Consumers must question purchasing habits. Small choices compound over time. Pressure can shift corporate behavior. Accountability can reshape political agendas. Indigenous leadership deserves stronger recognition. Land rights reduce illegal deforestation. Science must guide policy decisions. Data should not be politicized. Restoration projects can revive ecosystems. Reforestation requires long-term commitment. Forest recovery takes decades. Destruction happens within days. Time is narrowing dangerously. Tipping points approach silently. Delay increases irreversible damage. Hope still exists today. Recent crackdowns reduce deforestation rates. International cooperation has strengthened recently. Youth movements demand urgent climate justice. Investors increasingly value sustainability metrics. Innovation supports satellite monitoring systems. Transparency tools empower public awareness. The narrative can still change, but awareness alone is insufficient. Action must follow understanding. The forest's fate remains unwritten. Flames reveal uncomfortable global truths. The Amazon reflects human ambition. It also reflects human responsibility. What burns there affects everyone. And the next chapter depends on us.